come over here? You come over here? There you go. Hey guys. Oh. I have not worn a lavalier mic on a live yet. So how is the volume? Because I'm worried I might need to turn it down. Let me know how it sounds. Hey Vicky. Am I too loud? Okay, good. I was trying to have more prep work done ahead of time, like the filing part, but I've been running behind on everything, feels like. So I'm just gonna file them real quick and then I'll get started on doing them. I'm a little bit nervous, to be quite honest, because I'm not normally a good multitasker. And so I'm either going to be completely boring and not be able to carry on a conversation, or I'm going to screw up my nails somehow. I'm going to forget something. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see. I wanted to do this when I was getting set up earlier. I wanted to do this as a vertical video, but then when I flipped my camera, it would still record in landscape, but I would be like smaller. I don't know. It didn't work out, so we improvised. And I wasn't sure if anybody on this live would actually be interested in the nail part, so I wasn't sure like how much of that y'all wanted to see. So I guess I'm just kind of looking for y'all's feedback on that. Like, do you want me to talk about what I'm doing, or do you want to talk about something else while I do my nails? Ow. And I was not planning on doing my nails today, but oh, that's smart, Vicky. Used a mirror over her and one camera recorded. That is genius. Okay. I was not going to do my nails today. This is way early, but I broke a nail the other day, and like the next day after I broke a nail, all the dip powder stuff just popped off. So I'm having to do them. And then I'm probably only going to have these until Friday or Saturday, because we're leaving for a camping trip next week, and the last thing I want is a nail or something to pop off and I can't fix it. So I'm just gonna do them tonight, and then I'll probably do them again on Saturday, just to not have to think about it. Hey Jessie. Hold on. Almost done with this part. How's everybody been doing? I have not been able to talk with as many people as normal because, gosh, everything has been crazy. I've been doing so much stuff between filming, editing, working on a new website, writing a book. There's not enough hours in the day. So I feel very behind on life right now. What did you have done, Jessica? Gel, dip, acrylic? Earlier, I had to, so Jessica, when you messaged me earlier, I was having to film. So Revel, the company that I use, they're coming out with a new product, and they're releasing it while we're going to be on our camping trip. And I was one of the ones that got sent the new product. So I had to go ahead and film so that I can edit it and get it uploaded so that I can post it on the day it all goes on pre-sale. But I'm really excited. I do really like the product. I hope this isn't too loud. I'll hold it out here. I do really like the product. Somebody tell me if I get too loud, please. I'm not supposed to talk about what it is. I'm sure nobody really cares that much, but I do like it. And when it goes on pre-sale, they're not going to list it on their website. So the only way people will be able to buy it is through like an affiliate link. So I had to go ahead and film so I can get it edited and ready to go so that I can post it with my affiliate link for anybody that wants to get it. But even if you like do acrylic nails or like if you do your own nails at all, it's something you can use. And I actually do really like it. And I'm actually kind of surprised I was one of the ones they picked to send it to. That was interesting. I'm not used to wearing a lav mic while I'm doing a live, so you're probably going to hear every little burp and noise that I make, but okay. Is anybody watching this actually interested in this process? I kind of want to know, like, are we doing a tutorial, or you just want me to do them and talk to you at the same time? Or maybe kind of both. So, hey, new people. I'm just about to get started. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, I've not done this color before, so I don't know how it's going to look, but this is its Revel Nail color in the color Bonjour. So it's like, looks like a gray color. And then I've got these like glittery, flaky things, and I think I'm going to like make the, like an ombre with like glittery tips. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right. So if you want me to like talk about stuff, mention it, because my brain is going to be trying not to forget while I'm talking. So if I get quiet, just ask me something. See, I'm already worried. Okay. So the first step when you're doing at home dip powder nails, which you just saw me doing, I don't even know where I put it, but you have to buff the shine. Where did I put did y'all see where I put that? It's not with I'm already failing at this. Okay, so the first step is to buff the shine off your nail. I actually have to find it because I have to use it again. Did I drop it? Did y'all see what I did with my buffer? There it is. Okay. First step is you buff the shine off of all your nails. Real fun stuff, which I already did. And all of the liquids, these are Revel Nail, but I actually got a different brand. So this will be the first time I'm using this. I got it at the beauty supply store because so they call it step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is like an adhesive base coat. Step 2 is the activator, and step 3 is like your top coat. And I have reservations about this because it's a base and top coat. But we will see. And if you're doing these kind of nails at home, it's very, very, very important to like push back your cuticles, and then these little cuticle cutters, like they've got to be nice and even, and your cuticles have to be in shape or it's going to be a mess. Okay. I did forget one thing. Hold on. Be right back. Oh, but you can still hear me. Bailey's going to talk. I feel like I make less of a mess when I use these. Okay. This is actually my cat mat. It goes under my cat's food thing. Alrighty. Let's see how this goes. When will the podcast with Dr. Godsick be? Oh no. The podcast with Dr. Godsick is going to be we get back on the 29th, and then I think he's coming on the 30th. Well, there it goes. Okay. Whew. All right. I actually have to get one more thing. Hold on. I got to get a paper towel. I did film, edit, and upload a video the other day. I just haven't released it yet, but I was doing my makeup, and then I told a couple of 911 stories because y'all always like those. But it was like more like an eye makeup tutorial, but I'm going to have to do another one because I did a different eye makeup thing today and I like it a lot better. So I need to film that, and I would actually rather film it live, but my internet sucks and there's no way it would work in the bathroom. Okay. This is can you see me? This is the base coat. One thing I did learn is don't start at the cuticle, kind of start in the middle, fan the brush out, and then push back. And that keeps it from getting too thick at the cuticle, which will cause it to lift and not last as long. And you can either dip or you can do the pour over. I seem to like the pour over better. So you just pour it and then you tap it off. And then you can take like a little stick and just kind of clean it up so it's got a nice looking line. And I do have some of this stuff in my Amazon store, which is in the description. And I did find out last night that I had never paid it much attention, but like now you can go in on a video and tag, which it has to be a brand that participates, but like you can tag some of the stuff you're using. So like I went back and did that on my makeup tutorial that I haven't posted yet. And so like when you're watching it, there'll be like a little button pop up and then you can click on it and buy it if you want to. But anyways, I thought that was neat because with the little, you can put a timestamp on it. I don't know if y'all can hear him laughing. You can put a timestamp on it so that way you don't have to do so much of, and this is, and then like show it to the camera and all that crap. You can just do it and timestamp it appropriately and it'll just pop up. So, but I couldn't do it for this live. Oh my gosh, Australia. What time is it in Australia? Has anybody else watched any more Brittany Dawn videos, like from other creators or like TikTok? Or I'm curious who is keeping up with that situation. I did have a few of her crazies come to my comment section, which they didn't come to my comment section on my last video, but they went back on some of my older Brittany Dawn videos and left some comments, and I kind of trolled her back. Oh, hey, Lori. So I've been working on writing. I'm in chapter 4 right now, and it has been a journey already. Some things are coming up that I haven't thought about in a very, very long time. Mostly childhood things and stuff like that. Church things. Well, I'll actually share one with you while I'm doing this. This is a sneak peek of some stuff that's in my book. Vicki, I'm writing a book about, like, a memoir. So the other, like, last week or the week before, I did an interview with Newsweek, and they're going to put it. So Newsweek has a section called My Turn, and they're turning that into a podcast also. And so we did a podcast, and then they're gonna, he already sent me he transcribed it into words and he sent it to me, and I went over it and whatever. I'm not sure when it's gonna be out, but when we got done, he was like, "Ma'am, why have you not written a book?" And I was like, "Well, I actually wanted to, but I just got overwhelmed and didn't know where to start." And he was like, "Well, I cannot believe somebody hasn't picked this up yet." And he is gonna, look into some of his contacts and whatnot. So in the meantime, I just went ahead and started writing. But he said, basically, I like to find an editor and stuff. If all I would have to do is, like, I wouldn't even have to pitch my book. I would just have to pitch a proposal. And then if whoever the publisher is liked it, then they would front all of that, and I wouldn't have to worry about all of that. But then I decided just to go ahead and start writing anyways, because, like I told Lee, I said, worst case scenario is I write this book, which I'm actually enjoying writing. Worst case scenario is I write this book and have to self-publish it on Amazon. And I still think, even if I did that, I mean, I know at least, like, a lot of you guys would read it, and people that, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll be like a New York Times bestseller or anything, but I know it would get read. So I'm just going to go ahead and start writing, and worst case scenario, I publish it on Amazon. But, okay, back to what I was talking about. So some of the childhood things that have come, like, just kind of come back. So we used to live in this neighborhood, and then there was this little bitty Baptist church behind our house, and me and my sister would walk to church. every Sunday, every Wednesday. My parents didn't go at the time. And I know y'all can probably tell this about me from my videos, but like, I'm a deep thinker and I'm a very inquisitive person. And if something doesn't make sense to me, like I don't just accept something that doesn't make sense. So my kid self was very confused by the things I was learning at church and the Bible, which at that time, and this part I did not even remember it until I was writing, but I had a little Precious Moments Bible and it had pictures in it. And I would study my little Sunday school lessons and I would go to church all prepared. And then I would ask questions, but I never would like get a satisfactory answer. It would always be something really generic. Like, for example, y'all are getting a sneak peek at my book, by the way, because I'm just running my mouth about it. But I would, ask questions such as, and I think a valid question is, well, if God is all powerful and whatever, why would he let a kid get cancer? That did not make sense to me. Still doesn't make sense to me. So I would, as a kid trying to learn, I would ask those questions, and then the answer I would get would be like, well, we can't, our human brains can't understand God. Like, he's on a different level than we are, and our brains just are not capable of comprehending the will of God. And that never satisfied me. Anyways, fast forward many years. This went on for my 13th birthday, I got a new Bible, and it was the King James Version on one side and the NIV version on the other side. So like during church, because they would preach from the King James Version, so during church, whatever he was preaching on and he would read out of the Bible, I could then reference what I called the plain English version to try to understand, because I genuinely wanted to learn. And we were leaving church one day, and as we were walking out, I changed her name. I'm calling her in my book Miss Peterson, but that's not her name. But anyways, Miss Peterson, we were walking out and I was all excited and I was showing everybody my new Bible. And she pulled me to the side and she said, the only acceptable version of the Bible is the King James Version. You cannot believe anything that other versions, just basically shit on my parade. And yeah, she crushed the spirit of a 13-year-old child who was trying to read and learn about the Bible. That same person, years later, y'all remember the band Creed? I was in high school when they blew up, and I remember back in the day them coming out and they were talking about their faith and how they were all Christians and very religious. So I think me and my friend were talking about it or something. Anyways, Miss Peterson pulled me to the side again and told me that that was not appropriate music, and listening to stuff like that would send you to hell. And I was like, but Miss Peterson, they're all Christians. Like they even talk about it in some of their songs. She wouldn't have none of it. But not that there's a point to any of that, but there's a lot of you, I get a lot of questions all the time about how I became the way I am and my past, things like that. So I'm talking about all of that. I feel like I can write those things better than I can talk about them. So, oh wow, Joanne, I'm sorry, I probably missed the comment where you told me what time it was there. I don't know what the time difference is. Where's Lee? Lee is at work. Okay. So that was the first layer. Let's see. After you do the first layer, you just kind of brush off the excess. Oh, there is coat one. Okay. Going to round 2. I really want to do a live where I do makeup because I feel like that would be so much easier than pre-filming and editing. Editing takes, oh my gosh, you would not believe how long editing takes. But I think I'm getting a little faster at it. Or maybe I'm just getting better organized, so it makes the process go by faster. But I figured out a new trick with my eye makeup, and the video that I haven't posted yet is kind of my old way, and like my eye makeup today is, I think, better. So I really want to do a video on that because I was quite excited because it's really hard to do good looking eye makeup when you have hooded eyes. And not only do I have hooded eyelids, but I'm 39, so my face is changing. But in order to do it live, I would have to do it in my bathroom, and the internet is like terrible in our bathroom. So, but I almost bought Starlink the other day, but Lee had a good point because Starlink has an app that you can download, and then you can go outside and like see how it would work around your house. And we live in the woods, so there's a lot of trees and stuff. So we went out there, we were trying to find a spot before I bought it, and Lee had a good point. There was a tiny obstruction in one spot, and that was before all of the leaves on the trees, springtime. So we decided to wait until the trees have leaves on them, and then we're going to see what the app says about our coverage. And if that pans out, then we're getting Starlink ASAP because this internet situation is really, really frustrating. I could do so much more if only I had working internet. I think the last live we did, the last live stream I did, I ended up just having to cut it short because it glitchy and it didn't work. So, bye, Red. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, okay. So I have not. So y'all know I stopped drinking Coke Zero, and I told y'all, like I've got to do something about my food situation. I have not bought a 12-pack of Coke Zero since then. The only time I have had Coke Zero is like if we go out, which we really don't do very much. And every once in a while, Lee will bring me like a 20-ounce bottle. And I will drink. Hold on. I will drink that bottle instead of drinking, 6 cans a day. So that's going well. And then, but my food got better for, I don't know, like a few days. And then I just went off the deep end. But I went to my doctor the other day, and they also do like a weight loss clinic. And she put me on Adipex, which I've been on before, and it did not help with my weight, but it did help like my brain. I felt a lot more focused. But anyways, so this time she put me back on Adipex, and she put me on metformin, which I was super excited about. And since then, with the Adipex, the metformin, and me completely cleaning up my diet, I mean, I ate the same breakfast, the same protein shake and healthy snack, and then supper. I've already lost like 8 pounds. So I'm really excited about that and have been reading about it. And the metformin is good for people who might be insulin resistant, which is a precursor to diabetes, which we don't want. So I was really excited about that. But I've also found that metformin is an appetite stimulant and appetite suppressant. So much so that the other day, for a snack, I was eating pistachios, and I ate a good bit of pistachios, but they're pistachios. And I got full on pistachios and like made myself sick. I was nauseous. And Lee cooked corned beef and vegetables, and I could only take like 3 bites of it. And it was so good, but I could not eat anymore because I ate too many pistachios, which that is a big change for me. So I feel like I'm finally going to succeed this time, and Lee has been super helpful. Lee has been super helpful and cooking when he's home. And so we've decided that if he doesn't feel like cooking, then our default, because I don't like to cook, I don't have time to cook, I'm always editing, writing, like I'm just always doing something, and that's the last thing I want to do. So if he don't feel like cooking, then our default is to go to the store, get a rotisserie chicken and like a microwave bag, steamed green beans, and like maybe a piece of cornbread or something. And that's been working really well. So very excited about that. But I'm not able to like really exercise. So I'm just going to have to be very strict with my diet, and so far it's going well. So if any of you are having the same issues and you go to a doctor metformin would be worth mentioning to see how they feel about it. So far, it's working really well for me, and it's affordable. If your insurance cover it, it's I think Lee said it was $28, and you can get it even cheaper for that at like Publix or something. I'm going to be honest, I've got some reservations about how this is looking. It is looking very we'll see. I'm gonna try to trust the process, but see how it looks kind of like uneven and like clumpy. We're gonna trust the process though. Metformin made you sick. That sucks. Oh, so in Australia it's Monday at 10:35. Holy crap. That's wild. I'd love to know what you Australians think about the shit going on in the US right now. 'Cause it is wild. Did you have any issues with starting metformin, like side effects? So far, no. None at all. The only like side effect that I can tell is a decrease in appetite. So I've been really, really fortunate about that. They look at us how we look at Florida. That tracks for sure. So I was talking earlier about the Brittany Dawn crazies. I woke up, I don't know, like 2 days ago, because when I wake up I got a pain in my side. When I wake up in the morning, I'm sure everybody else does too. Like while I'm still in bed, I just like check my notifications. And when I woke up, there was like 4 back-to-back comments from the same person. Her username was something like Sister in Christ. That is goopy. I don't like that. And okay, so Sister in Christ left me like 4 comments back to back. And in one of the comments, she said that I was just making all of it up. It's like, okay. I told her to go see a doctor for her delusions. She did not like that. She told me what a bad Christian I was. And then I said, spoiler alert, I'm not a Christian. Boo! And I put a ghost emoji. Some things you just got to deal with it with humor or you'll go crazy. I feel like if she, I struggle with that sometimes because I know some people would be like, well, she's a bitch. And yeah, I can be. But I feel like if she was interested in an actual conversation, that would be one thing. But, I don't owe those people anything. Executive producer. There's something over and I can't read it. What's he doing? Gotta look the part. Yep. Bailey yesterday morning. I let him walk around while I was eating breakfast, and for some reason, he has become obsessed with our laundry room. And he runs into the laundry room and he goes in a corner where there's a big picture frame thing in the floor, like leaning against the wall, and he started tearing at it, so I covered it with a towel. Well, now he's obsessed with that towel, like he's trying to make a nest in it or something. But anyways, he'll go in there and he gets real quiet because he's just fascinated in there. And Lee got up and all he had was underwear, and he was walking to the bathroom, and I forgot about Bailey. Lee, before he went to the bathroom, he went in the laundry room and he didn't see Bailey, and Bailey just like attacked his foot. He didn't draw blood or anything, but he kind of like, they do this thing where he can be mad, but instead of biting, he'll close his beak and he'll like peck at you really hard. And that's what he did to Lee. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Lee was in the laundry room going, get this son of a bitch. Come get this. You better come get this son of a bitch. And I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. Yes, poor Lee. And then some of you may not know, some of you probably do, but the other night, Bailey, what's weird about him that I don't understand, he can fly. But the only time he flies is when he's like perched on something, like right now. If he wanted to go somewhere, he would have to fly. But if you set him down in the floor, he will only walk. And this bird will literally walk across the whole house instead of flying. And I find that really weird. But when he does take off flying, 9 times out of 10, he lands in the same spot, which is on the blinds in where my mother-in-law, that little apartment we have on our house, he lands into the blinds. You have to get him off the blinds. Well, I told Lee, I said, what you need to do is the next time he flies into the blinds, just walk up to him, and if he sticks his foot out, then put your hand up there, because that's how I started being able to handle him, was when he would get stuck, I would offer my hand and then he would step up. So I told Lee to do that. Well, Lee did. Bailey stepped up on his hand and he walked in here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get a picture, because other than my hand, I'm the only person that Bailey has ever like let him, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Even Doodle, who he was bonded to, did not pick him up with his hands. So I ran over to get my phone and I took a picture, and I was so busy trying to get the picture that I didn't really notice pissed off Bailey looked. Because as soon as I snapped the picture, he bit the shit out of Lee and drew blood. So, but then I posted the picture on Facebook and Instagram, and when you look at that picture now, Bailey just looks mad. So, Lee will not be doing that again anytime soon, if ever. Yeah, y'all have to go look at the picture. It's pretty funny. Bailey, like, it's weird how a parrot can have an expression, but Bailey just looks mad. Okay. So I've got 2 coats. So it's looking better. That's what we look like after 2 coats. Now comes the glitter part. Okay. I like pouring, because you get the excess in here and then you can just dump it back in. Whereas if you dip, after you dip, you gotta like shake it off, and then it gets everywhere. So that's why I like pouring. So we are done with that. Is there anything else I'm forgetting to talk about? I feel like I've got so much to update on. All right, this is the glitter. Speaking of TV, what's y'all's favorite like guilty pleasure show? I'm curious. I thought about that earlier. Mine, which I haven't watched it in, like, I don't watch TV. I never watch TV. Especially as of the last year or so, the TV does not get turned on because I'm filming or editing or writing or just something. But I used to like, I just don't have time anymore. Married at First Sight. I find that show fascinating. But I thought about that because earlier when I was taking off my blue nails I had on, I was watching a commentary video on YouTube, and she did a really good job of summarizing up Married at First Sight, which I have been seeing a lot about, but I don't watch TV. And I found that fascinating. She did a really good job of summarizing the entire season in like 25 minutes. So, okay. So I've only done this. You don't watch TV? Yeah. Okay. So I've only done this one other time. So it may turn out good. It may not. But the idea, here's the... I just got that all over my computer. That's gonna be fun. All right. Bailey's trying to interrupt me. Tell him how cold you are. You've been saying that for almost 2 weeks. You drank it all. You need a jacket? You need a jacket? That is loud. Oh my gosh, that's loud. You need it. Good morning. You need a jacket? Are you cold? Where's Daddy? Can y'all hear the little kissing sounds he makes? He does it back to me. I love you. What you gonna talk about? You need a jacket? Where's Daddy? You gonna talk? Say good morning. Good morning. Okay, that hurts my neck. That's what Lee said, Kaylin. He said, Lee's exact words were, if he don't shut up, you're going to have to crochet this son of a bitch a parka. That's what he said. That's what gave me the idea to do that AI picture. What do you think about people that are disabled being attracted to some people like paramedics? I don't think I think anything about it. I mean, as long as you're an adult and you're not hurting anybody, I'm not going to tell anybody that they're wrong for anything. Okay. All right. So we're going to do another coat of the space coat. And then I'm going to, I hope this works. I'm going to, let's see, put it right here where you can see it. I'm going to just dip this brush in the flaky glitter. and just kind of, oh, that's going to be pretty. But I want a little bit more on the ends. Okay. Okay. I think that might, hold on, I'll show you here in a second. I think these are actually going to be really cute. That's what it looks like. Like, that's not what it's going to look like when I'm done. It's going to look a lot better than that, but I think that's going to be cute. I understand that, Michaela. What else did y'all want me to run my mouth about while I'm doing my nails? Now's your chance. When doing your nails, does it help your mental health? Yeah. I've just figured out that I just really enjoy having pretty nails because all my years as a paramedic, I would go get like pedicures, but I wouldn't get my nails done because I was rough on my hands. But I like doing my nails at home because it's so much cheaper. Yeah, I didn't like taking the time out of my day to go sit in a salon. So I really like that I can do it here. And like if Lee's watching TV or the kids are home and everybody's doing their own thing, I can put my headphones on and come over here and do my nails and nobody's gonna bother me and just have a little bit of me time, which is the only time I get to like watch other YouTube channels or like when I'm doing my nails and when I'm doing my makeup. That's my social media time because when I'm not doing that, I'm doing my own social media. But how was that? That's how we're looking. So yeah, that's gonna be cute. Yay, okay. I didn't make a bad choice. That's gonna be really cute. Y'all are going on a trip. You said, yes, we are leaving. What's today? Sunday. We're leaving next Sunday. Taking the camper to Asheville, North Carolina. And we are so excited because Lee's never been to the Biltmore. I've been once a long time ago with my first husband, and I've always wanted to go back. And then Lee's never been. So we're excited to do that. But the main thing we're excited about is the campsite or the place we're going to. The name of it is it's called Campfire Lodgings, and they have premium sites, which normally we don't worry about any of that, but their premium sites are on the bluff of a mountain and you have an unobstructed view. Like your campsite is on the edge of the bluff. So like when you walk out your front door, it's just the Blue Ridge Mountains. And the pictures online are just stunning. So we're super excited about that. And I can't wait to take a bunch of pictures and a bunch of videos. Not necessarily for content, but I found when we went to Panama City last year, I I made a video, and it was just like a vlog. I don't even think there was much talking in it at all. It was all set to music, and I just filmed it and put a video together, and it's still my favorite video I've ever done, and it did not get like many views at all, and that's okay. But that was my gift for my dad for Father's Day, because we went like the week before Father's Day weekend. So I filmed the whole family and everything we were doing, and then I put it to music and spent a lot of time on it. And that was my Father's Day gift to my dad. So, but it's still one of my favorite videos. So I'm excited to go to Asheville and just film things and make a video out of it. Not necessarily for anybody else to, I mean, of course I'm going to put it on YouTube, but ultimately, like, videos like that I do for us, for something to look back on. So I really enjoy doing that. I like doing that because it's like you're telling a story, like with the music you choose and just everything about it. I feel like it tells a story, and I like doing that a lot. Also, like to run my mouth a lot, as evidenced by my last Brittany Dawn video, because I lit into her. I knew I would lose subscribers when I did that. And it always sucks. I don't like disappointing people, but I also have opinions. Some of them I feel very strongly about. And when it comes to Brittany Dawn, she needs to get off the internet. She needs to be deplatformed. And yeah, I think she is a gross human being. So I don't have a problem voicing my opinion on that. And if you're somebody that loves Brittany Dawn, then you're not going to like me anyways. So that's something else that's kind of funny about my YouTube channel, is most of the subscribers came from one video, which y'all probably all know which one. I'm sure that's how most of you got here, but they all come for that video thinking that's my whole channel, but they get real disappointed when they find out that I have a personality and thoughts and feelings that I express. But I don't know. They say when you find something that works, like when it comes to content creation, when you find something that works, that's what you keep doing. But in my case, that would be me talking repetitively over and over and over about what happened to me and everything we went through. And, I don't mind talking about it. It doesn't bother me to talk about it, but like, you can only tell that story so many times. So I don't even know how to, I hate to say like monetize that, but like that's what a lot of creators will do. They would, that would be the whole channel, and that's not me. Those are looking really good. That's where we're at right now. My only show I watch online is current Australian Married at First Sight. Football. I think that allows you to enjoy it to the fullest too, not have to worry about filming every little thing. Yes. I don't worry myself about filming stuff. If it's gonna make it less enjoyable, I'm not gonna do it. Thank you, Vicky. That's how I feel. And also that just feels, I'm going to mess up this word, but that feels exploitative. You know what I'm trying to say? Exploit. Like exploiting myself. Trying to monetize off of sympathy. And that does not sit right with me. So I don't do that. If I feel like talking about it, I'll talk about it. If there's like a certain question or something specific I've thought of that I want to talk about, that's one thing, and I don't mind doing that. But I mean, you can't have a whole YouTube channel and only post nothing but your sob story, you know? Because it's very emotional. It would make a fantastic movie. It was good enough to be on The Good Doctor. I swear it should be a Lifetime movie or something, but that's what it should be. And then the rest of it, I feel like, is me figuring out who I am after all of that. Because you're not the same person at all. I'm very different. And I think I'm very different to the better. I think I am better because of it. And our marriage is definitely better because of it. I always get scared when I say that people are going to get the wrong impression and think that we didn't have a good marriage and we weren't happy, because we were. We were very happy. And now we're even more happy. So there was a lot of good that came from it. There was a lot of pain. There's a lot of mental trauma. I think the mental, honestly, might even be more so for Lee than it was for me. Possibly my dad. Because I don't really dwell on the bad stuff anymore. I'm able to see the good stuff, and that's kind of just what I choose to think about. Now, oh man, I put way too much glitter on that one, but you can't take it off once it's on there. Crap. Oh well. This is literally going to be on my fingers for like 6 days. Did your dad or Lee go to therapy after your accident? Neither one of them did. I did, but they didn't. My dad he still rides. He does still ride. His reasoning that he's told me, which I'm not going to preach to anybody. He was there. Like, I don't need to say anything to him. But his reasoning, he says that he's in his 60s. His kids are grown. So if something were to happen to him, there's nobody, like, I guess, depending on him. I don't know. That's the way he sees it. But I think in some instances there are worse things than death. So that does worry me. But he knows that. He was there. He knows that. So just live your life and don't fret, don't worry, don't agonize over things that you cannot control. And I cannot control that. It's honestly wild how many paramedics ride motorcycles. Not just motorcycles, but the amount of people in EMS, and I won't really speak for police officers because I think they're kind of a different crowd, but the amount of firefighters and paramedics that ride motorcycles, smoke, and dip is wild to me. I have never smoked ever. I barely, like, I will have cocktails on occasion, but when I say on occasion, I mean like 2-3 times a year. And that's not like getting drunk, that's literally having a cocktail. But the smoking and dipping is rampant in our career fields, and it's just wild to me. Like, a smoker's death is ugly, and we've all of us have seen it, what it can do to you. And I don't understand, honestly. I've never understood it. And I'm not, like, don't think I'm like dissing anybody, because I'm not, but I have never understood why people ever started smoking. And also when it comes to drinking, so like Lee drinks beer. He loves beer, but he's liked it since the first time he tasted it. Well, I've tasted different kinds of beer, and it is revolting to me. So I don't drink it. But like, I've heard so many people say that like their first few beers were terrible, or that their first few cigarettes were awful. And I'm like, then why did you do it again? Like, if you smoked a cigarette and it was horrible, why'd you do it again? I can't understand that. But I also don't really have an addictive personality outside of junk food. So, but the first time, like, there was never a point where I said, oh, this is disgusting, and I kept eating it either. All right. Now it's time for the clear coat, and then file and buff, and then the top coat. But this is where we're at. You've worked with doctors before, and some of them smoked. God, that's wild. Papa died of lung cancer. Vicky, that's exactly what I was saying. It's an acquired taste. I'm not going to put effort into acquiring a bad habit. That's just, I could see if you like loved it your first time, that's different. But like, if it was awful, then why did you keep doing it? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. All right, clear coat. Kaylin, you're dipping. Oh, gross. Lee dips too. I'm saying that. I feel comfortable saying it's gross because my husband does it, and it is gross. So, you know what was even worse than that? I just thought of a funny story. There was a patient at the nursing home. Yes, Vicky, I am dipping. Yep. What am I doing? Okay. There was a patient at the nursing home we used to get. who was bedbound, and he dipped, but it wasn't just dip, it was snuff. And a lot of I've even had old women who used snuff, and oh my God. But anyways, this patient at the nursing home, his spit cup that they would give him was clear. And that's one thing, like, at least like Lee, he uses a coffee cup with a lid and he keeps it away from me, which I appreciate. But his cup, his spit cup, was clear. And one day we got called out there, and this is just this is a clear coat to go on top of everything, because then I got to file it and whatever. But anyways, I don't remember what they called us for, but something was wrong with him. And when we walked in that room, that spit cup was laying right, like he had it in his beard, on his chest, on his bedding. And my gag reflex kicked in, and I could not enter the room because I was dry heaving. I don't know why it triggered me so bad that day. So my partner had to go in there and move the spit cup where I couldn't see it, and then wipe him off a little bit so that I could get in there. And the whole time I was in there with him, like moving him to the stretcher and everything, I would not look. Like if he's laying right here, I wouldn't look down, and I would stare at my partner and just do everything without looking. Some days, stuff like that is weird. You can't control what makes you gag. Some days I would be totally fine with whatever, and then other days, I have thrown up on 2 calls I can think of off the top of my head. And then sometimes I would get car sick, and I've thrown up. I can't even tell you how many times I've thrown up in the back of an ambulance. I can definitely say that I don't miss doing that. No, you didn't tell me that, Michaela. Do you have a shunt? I would tell you about the calls that made me throw up, but some people can't handle that stuff. Lee has never thrown up. He has gotten close, but he has a stomach of steel. In fact, a funny story about me and him. When we first, I first started working with him on one of our first shifts together, we had a nursing home patient, and might have even been that same patient. I don't remember now. Anyways, I was not cleared to drive at that time because I was new. So I was supposed to ride in the back of every call. And we went to the nursing home, and this really big man was projectile vomiting. And it was in his beer. It was everywhere. And Lee loaded him up in the ambulance, and I climbed in and I sat on the bench seat, and they were like van ambulances, so they were really, really close quarters. And I sat on that bench seat, and I was trying to like get him hooked up to the monitor and stuff, and I could not quit gagging. I was just dry heaving and just so bad that Lee was like, really? And he said, get your ass up there and drive. And so I got up to the front, and what was funny, he had been doing this so long, it was not his first rodeo. I was still pretty new medic at that time. I actually learned a lot from Lee, but Lee took the bed sheet that we pulled him over with that was up under him. He somehow tied that bed sheet up on top of him, so he was like sitting in a bowl of stuff, and it wasn't running out everywhere. But yeah, Christy does not have a stomach of steel. I can be tough, but some things are just gonna get you. Okay, I have done a clear on all of them. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I won't talk about it no more. I'm stopping. Joanne, dipping is smokeless tobacco. Where's mine? There it is. Okay. So the next step is this. It's called activator, and what it does is it like hardens everything. So you apply that, and you just do that really fast. And it doesn't matter if it gets on your skin. You literally just coat it, and then it'll harden. And then after it hardens is when you go in and file it and buff it and get it nice and smooth. And then you put the top coat on. Oh yeah, Kaylin, I won't go into details. I'm not going to try to gross anybody out. But I do have a couple stories about that. The first one was we got a call one day for someone that had passed away. And when we got there, before we even went in the house, you could see outside of the room, he was in a bedroom. The window of that bedroom on the outside, there was flies all around it. All right, hold on, pause. Now I'm going to start filing because I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here, but like they're like thick and lumpy. Anyways, so then we file them, get them shaped, and then buff them, get them smooth, and put a top coat. So we pull up and we can see all the flies swarming a certain window. And before, like as soon as we stepped in the house, there was a smell. And what was wild about that was there were other people living in that house. Like he didn't live alone. So that always puzzled me, that someone had been there long enough to attract bugs from the outside, and the people in the house were just like, yeah, we hadn't heard from him for a few days. Like, very weird. Very, very weird. And then another time we went out, same thing, somebody had died. I think I've talked about this before, actually. Y'all may have heard this before. It was like a drug house. And we went in the house, and like the windows were boarded from the inside. This part takes me a while, so anyways, the windows were boarded up, and there were padlocks. I mean, like, there would be 10 padlocks on the door, which tells me it's somebody with psychiatric issues or severely like on drugs or both. And we go look at the patient, the decedent, who was turning unnatural. He'd been there a few days, okay? I won't go into details because I'm not trying to gross you out. Let's just say it was glaringly obvious. And his girlfriend had been sleeping in the same bed with him 4 days while he was decomposing. And me, being the inquisitive person that I am, was like, so how did you not notice this? And she said, well, when I got in the bed, he was cold. So I just covered him up because he felt cold. And it's like, okay. So that one, again, it's not quite as wild without all of the details that I'm not going to say, but it was disturbing. You love filing ASMR. Good, because you're about to hear a lot of it. In fact, I filed my thumb too much and like filed some of it off. Can you see that? Is my camera not going to focus? There it goes. See my little bald spot right there where I filed it too much? So I've been doing this for a few months now. I file down here, like where the cuticle is, I file that down as much as possible so it's not too thick down there. Because when you apply it, it's thick. So then you have to file it and like shape it to the correct thickness. So I usually spend a while on this part, unfortunately. But like I said, I'm usually watching TikToks or a YouTube video when I'm doing it, so I don't I don't mind. And not sitting in the salon. That fingernail's too pointy. I can't get it rounded. I like a little bit of a point, but I don't like the claws. What you think, Bailey? What are you doing? Is there anything? Did you see my answers to your... No, Michaela, if I looked at every single comment, I would be here all night. So I'm trying my best to talk and do my nails at the same time. But I will try to go back and look. I just saw Vicky's comment. At that point, it's a little too late for paramedics. Exactly. I never could figure out why we would even get sent on those calls. Like, that made no sense to me. And every service is different. Like, I've worked for one service that if it was like a decomp like that, like if it was obvious, they wouldn't even send paramedics. And then the calls that we did go on where we called it, we went back in service and left the scene with police until the coroner got there. Then I've worked at another service where we got sent on didn't matter if it was decomp or what, we got sent on all of them, and also had to transport them to the morgue or the funeral home. So everybody does it different. And then I worked at another service. The owner of the ambulance service also ran like 3 funeral homes. And so we would run them. And then if the family was going to use them, then we would transport to the funeral home. I actually thought about doing that at one point, like going to mortuary school. I think there's some of it I know I could do, but yeah. What else would y'all like to know? Oh yeah, I am familiar with them, Jessica. They're in Golden Springs, and that cemetery, Forest Lawn, beside it is where both of my grandparents are buried. I've been to a bunch of funerals there. Yeah, Vicky, I like that too. You know what show I I told y'all earlier I didn't watch TV, and I don't. But I forgot about this show, and I don't seek it out, but like sometimes I'll turn the TV on for Bailey and put it on like cartoons or something, just so it's not silent for him while I do my editing or whatever. But there's A&E has this series that I love. It's the Customer Wars, Neighbor Wars, and Road Wars. I love those. And like, like the Karen videos and stuff like that. I like those videos. I think they're funny, and I really like them too because they are very, like, they're very real. Obviously, they're filmed on people's cell phones, but we ran into those situations all the time, and I like it even more now because I can watch it and enjoy it, but not have to be the person that figures anything out. So it's just pure entertainment for me at this point. But Lee will not watch it. He hates it. It stresses him out, and he'll say, I do enough of that shit at work. I ain't going to sit here and watch it at home. So, which I get it. But I do like those a lot. I like real POV videos and stuff. I think I actually enjoy watching YouTube better than I do TV most of the time. I like finding like random documentaries and stuff, or I like different commentary channels. Which, kudos to people who do commentary channels full time, because it's not easy. It's not easy to put all your opinions out there and then take the heat that that's coming. Oh, speaking of, that's something, since all this stuff came out about Brittany Dawn and that dog, I went to like her TikTok and Instagram this morning, and she has been deleting comments, like hundreds and hundreds of comments. And that's her MO, is if somebody calls her out for something, even if it's hundreds of people, she just deletes their comments. And like, I get that to an extent, but what made me, it didn't really affect me, but what's so gross about this thing with her dog is that while the day this dog was found starving, and she knew about it because it was all over the internet, she was just posting happy pictures on her social media, like never offered anything, just went about her life. And like, if I had to rehome my dog for whatever reason and then that happened, I would come unglued. Did I ever watch Night Watch? Yes. It was pretty good. Obviously, they were going on real calls. But what I didn't like about Night Watch was it didn't show, it was all urban EMS. So like, all of their transport times were super short, and they had mutual aid on every call. On every call we watched, it would be EMS and the fire department there. So if the call is bad enough, the paramedic and the ambulance can ask one of the medics with the fire department to ride in. And actually, when I met Lee, that's how I met him. I was working with the EMS service. he was working with the fire department, and he would be the medic on the rescue truck and I would be on the ambulance, and we would both respond to a call. And, if it was bad and I needed some help, then he would ride in with me. So that's kind of how things are done with Night Watch. So not only do you have tons of help, but you also have a very short ride to the hospital, which, is accurate portrayal of those services for, I can't say this word, rural services. It's very different. I mean, very, very different. You don't always have mutual aid. And like when you request in certain areas, when you request a fire department for extrication or whatever, it's oftentimes a volunteer department, which is fine, but volunteer departments, they're not career firefighters. So while they can do some things, none of them are medically trained. Basically, they're an extra set of hands or a driver, which I've made that mistake before. And after that one time, I never let a volunteer firefighter drive me to the hospital ever again. But so you may or may not have help. And then your transport times are, for us, it was, our quickest transport time would be 20 minutes. But I've had transport times up to an hour and a half. And if you don't have any help and it's a bad situation, you better know what the hell you're doing. And it is very stressful. Very, very stressful. That's one of the things I talk about in the makeup video that I've got coming out sometime next week. I actually talk about that because the calls that I'm talking about in that video are calls that happened in a rural area. And so I kind of did bring that up. But yeah, Night Watch was good. I did like it. It just wasn't very accurate for the paramedics like me, who was mostly rural. That's all. And then there was one, I took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook years ago, but I was watching one episode and they had this little girl in the back of the ambulance and hooked up to the cardiac monitor, and all the leads were wrong. Like the wires from the monitor, like the EKG wires, different colors go in different spots, and their leads were all wrong. And I was like, what in the world? That was a little bit, surprising. So I don't know if they had to like maybe reshoot that scene or something, and I don't know, but all their leads were in the wrong place. I took a picture of it, posted it on Facebook. Like, what in the world? I think my son just got home. I'm not sure though. I told him that when he came home, when he got off work, that I might still be doing a live. Okay, so I did all the filing. Now, because right now I like to feel them, they're really rough. So you just use this little buffing block and just smooth them all out. Michaela, it may be my internet. My internet's terrible. What are you doing? You're being very quiet. You're being very quiet. Would What you doing? Trying to get him to talk. What you doing? Where's Daddy? I'm excited about our trip, and I'm really excited to go to Biltmore and to show Lee the Biltmore. But I'm also a little bit nervous about the amount of walking. So hopefully I'll be able to do it. But like right now, sitting here doing my nails, my neck always, because I'm like sitting up and I'm like hunched over a little bit, that is really, really hard on my neck. I promise I'm almost done. Just got to buff and put the top coat on. I just saw Jessica's comment. I read that as Baywatch and not Night Watch. Brittany D needs a real psychiatrist. Absolutely. Jessica, I actually thought about that, but I don't know. Like I even have a handicap mirror thingy for the car, but I hardly, like the only time that I use that now is if I'm in like a lot of pain and not walking well or just something like that. But 99% of the time I don't use it because I'm not going to take away a spot because I can for somebody else that might need it. Also, there's not near enough handicap spots at a lot of places. I learned that. We went to the zoo in, I think it was May of 22. So like 6 months after my accident, we went to the zoo for my nephew. It was his birthday and that's what he wanted to do. And I was in a wheelchair and we were driving to like get the last handicap spot and some jackass like cut us off and took the spot, and we sat there and watched every one of them get out of the car, and none of them required a wheelchair. They were all walking fine, like it was probably Mama's tag that they borrowed for the day or something. But I was like, why would you do that? Because when you get in the zoo, you're going to be walking all day, so why couldn't you walk in the parking lot as well? Oh, okay. I see that, Michaela. No, mine is a neurosurgeon. Okay, I almost forgot the step, but I didn't. After you buff, you do the activator one more time, then you do the top coat. I did forget that one time, and it was not good. But I was very, very unsure about these, but I think I'm really going to like them. I appreciate that, Jessica. And if I do need it, then I will use it. But I try not to. Like if I feel like I'm walking fine that day, I'm not going to use it. But also saying that, there's been a couple times, like earlier on when I first started walking again, I would park in the handicap spot, like going in the grocery store or something, and I would get out and I would see like random people like staring me down, and it made me so uncomfortable. Like I was scared. Sometimes I would have my phone ready to record because I just knew somebody was going to come up to me and interrogate me or ask me or make a mean comment about me being in a handicap spot. But it never happened. I just got dirty looks. Okay, here's what they look like before the top coat. So very dull and like cute, but very dull. But this top coat is what sets it off. Apparently that wasn't my son home. I was just hearing things. He's working, and then my daughter left this morning to go to the beach with her friends for spring break. I am relieved that she is not in Panama City. They are closer to Destin. But I told her I'm not naive enough to say, no drinking, no this, no that. So I gave her my not rules, because she's 18, but I was like, do not go anywhere by yourself. Always be in a group. Do not leave a drink unattended. And if there is drinking involved, then somebody in that group has to be the mother to look after everybody. So that's what I told her. And she's very responsible, so I'm not too worried about it. What's weird is I got a group text earlier, so I turned my phone on vibrate so it wouldn't keep dinging, and a text just came through from Lee, and it made the sound. I don't understand how it could make a sound when I turned it on vibrate. All right, here's the difference. This hand has got the top coat on it, so that's what they'll look like finished. And then this is the hand that hasn't got it yet. But I think this is going to be really cute. Yeah, my neck is about at that point, which really sucks because there's dishes that need to be washed. I had to set up, I've got like a softbox thing to take pictures of like products and stuff. And I was filming for that product I was telling you about from Revel Nail that they haven't released yet. And so I had to set all that up in my bedroom. All that's got to be taken down. I got to wash dishes, wash my face. Oh God. But if that's all I got to deal with, then I'm very lucky. Dr. Godzik, actually, there was a patient he had. He told me her name, but she's young. I think she's like 19. And he was like, I'm going to give you her contact information because I want you to talk to her. I think you'd be good for her to talk to. And, you know, she's really funny, blah, blah, blah. And so I got on Facebook and looked her up before I contacted her. And she was in a really bad car wreck. And she went from being very, you know, able-bodied to she's now a quadriplegic. And from what I saw on Facebook, she's got like a great family, tons of support. So I didn't feel comfortable reaching out to her. That's something that I worry about, because what can I possibly tell somebody that wasn't as lucky as I was? And so the next time I saw Dr. Godzik, he asked me if I ever talked to her, and I told him no, because, and then I, you know, explained that I don't know, as I could see the patient being like, you know, who does she think she is? Look, you're able to walk and you're able to do this and able to do that. So you couldn't possibly understand, or I couldn't possibly understand what they're feeling. And so I never did talk to her. And he was like, oh yeah, I didn't really consider that. So I'm curious to know if that makes sense to everybody else or if I'm overthinking it, but that's a concern I have. Also, about talking about my story, I've actually got a book in here I haven't started reading yet, but I want to. It's the book that Christopher Reeve wrote after he got after he fell off a horse and is a quadriplegic now. He wrote a memoir, and somebody sent it to me, and I would really like to read it. I feel like it would be very helpful for me in writing my own book. Just kind of see like the format he did or whatever. I just haven't had time to start reading it yet. I can't even tell y'all the last time I crocheted. And like, I love to do that. I just literally work full time on everything else. I'm going to ask you, Michaela. Do their own dip powder nails now. Did I make it look did I make you feel like you wanted to do it, or like you're like, hell no, I think I will pass? Curious. I will say, when you like, if you do start doing them at home, the first time you do it is going to be horrendous. And then you're going to message me and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I hate you. And then I'm going to say, calm down. And then I'm going to send you some videos since you obviously didn't look at them beforehand like I told you to. And then you're going to do them again after watching those videos, and it's going to be night and day difference. Okay. This dries really fast, like within a minute, but that's what they look like. Actually turned out cute. I hate taking nail pictures. I'm gonna show them here. Look at my fingers. They're so crooked. My fingers like point at each other. They have always been like that. I have the ugliest hands. Like, if I ever catch myself with like my hands like this and I look down, I always fold them back up. I've done that since I was a kid. I can't stand the way my hands look. Vicky, you feel my pain. But yeah, that's it. Then I usually put some, after they dry, I put some cuticle oil on. I'll let that set for a few minutes, and then I go wash my hands and go about my day. So. Yeah, that actually turned out cute. But I'm going to do them again either Friday. Uh-oh, I touched one. Either Friday or Saturday, because I ordered some like Easter colors. They look like Easter eggs because they're like pastel, but then they've got like the speckles in them. I thought that would be really cute for Easter. And also, I want fresh nails before I go away and risk something happening. Or maybe I could just bring my stuff with me. That would make more sense. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyways, I can't believe, I don't know, probably 12 of you stayed through the whole thing. Tell them you'll see them later. You gonna talk to them? They said you can't talk. They said you can't talk. You don't know how. Can you? They said you can't talk. See? He ain't gonna talk. He'll wait till I end it and then he won't shut up. All right, guys. Mary Bell, your butterfly. Why does your butterfly look different? I don't remember seeing that one. When did yours turn pink? I don't remember doing that one. Huh. I'll have to go look at that. You must have been like one of my very first members and you just hit a milestone or something, because I actually don't remember doing that butterfly. Michaela, I didn't see your question. I don't see a question. Okay, I'm gonna hop off and try to eat some supper. I am not hungry, but I'm gonna try to eat some chicken and rest and then go do my chores. So I'll have my makeup tutorial out sometime this week. And if you don't follow me on socials, I keep posted on there. I also do try to use the community tab on YouTube, but a lot of people never see that and don't check it. So, but I still try to do that. But anyways, bye guys. Thank you.